Hi guys, welcome to our science class of the week. Today we're going to start a new topic. We already finished some interesting ones. I hope you like them. Today we're going to start with what are fungi. You may find your book and open it to page 62, please, so we can get started. Now, just to take a real lapse, we talked about the 5 kingdoms of living things, right? We had the animal, the plant, the protist, the monoeres, and the fungus. So as you can see in the green cross that I put there, we are finished with the animal kingdom because we saw all of the cats and they are our animal kingdom. And now we're going to go to the fungus kingdom, okay? So what is fungi? What really is it? So most fungi are many cell organisms that absorb food from their surroundings. They can be in different shapes and colors. Some can be dangerous, some cannot be dangerous, some can be poisonous, etc. And we're going to learn about that. So as you can see in the red picture that you see there, those are mushrooms. And mushroom is a type of fungus, okay? It's a type. It's not the only one. It's only one type. Then we can also say they are composed of thousands of thread-like structures. They don't produce their own food, right? So this means that they are composed of many structures that help them keep alive. And they do not contain chloroplast. Chloroplast is what we find in plants, so it's not a plant and it's not an animal. Obviously, it's actually a fungus. So what does fungi make them so unique? Fungi does not move, but allows quickly and can cover a large surface. Look at the type of fungus that you find there. Now that it's May, normally it starts to rain a lot. So when it's raining a lot and the wood of the trees gets its water, some of them can actually, it's like during this month, we can find a lot of fungus in the forest. So fungi eats dead organisms or grows as parasites to obtain nutrients. Fungi are important decomposers, and that's what I want you to understand. They are decomposers. They are not producers. They decompose normally depending on the surface where you can find them. Now, there are 3 kinds of fungi, okay? The number 1 are mushrooms. Look at the pictures. There's all types of mushrooms. Some can be poisonous and some no. That is one kind. Then we have mold. Mold is also a type of fungi, and mold is the one that you find in foods that become rotten or they are kept in a humid place and then they may have mold. Normally you can also find that in bread or in fruits, vegetables. When you don't eat them, you start to have mold. Then yeast. Yeast is actually a fungus, but it's actually a fungus that we normally eat. The yeast is this powder. Now, well, there you can find it already processed, but it can also be in a whole thing, like you find it in a block. And that is what normally bread is made of. They are made of yeast. Pizza, for example, the ones that help you grow, is also has yeast. Or any type of cake actually has yeast, which is considered a fungus. But guys, today we're only going to talk about mushroom, the first type of fungus. And next week we're going to talk about the other 2 types of fungus. So, mushrooms, guys. Many are edible and are eaten by people around the world. Look at the picture. Some students I know like mushrooms because I remember you like mushrooms. And there's other people like me. For example, I do not like mushrooms in anything, food or anything. I don't like it. But some people say they are very delicious and they can be very nutritious. Mushrooms come in different shapes and colors. As you saw in the beginning, I showed you some red mushrooms and then you saw some brown mushrooms. They can come in different ways, and I'm going to explain how you can notice which ones are dangerous and which ones are not. They do not contain chlorophyll and they cannot make their own food, as we said before. Most live, and this is really interesting, they live or they are alive on dead wood, soil, and manure. Manure is another word for poop of any animal. They come out from manure of any animal that is left in the forest. And when they start to grow, or when they come out, they end up looking like parasites on the trees. That means they are stuck. They don't move, and they just grow and grow and grow and start to decompose, and then you can find them. So there are parts of mushroom. This is really interesting, and this is going to help you do the activity, because the parts of mushroom, you gotta take care of. There's a scales or cap that looks like an umbrella. That cap is really important because it protects the whole mushroom. Then the gills, guys, actually have spores. Spores is another word, like in Spanish, poros. Like us humans, we have spores, so our skin opens and closes all the time. Well, the same thing happens with the mushroom. They have pores, and these pores open and close depending on if there's water or not. They have a ring. We're not going to use the word skirt. We're going to use the word ring, which is at the middle of it. It can actually help sustain the mushroom. Then the stem, which is the whole long structure. The bulba, which is at the bottom, and it's not really like the bulba. What it does is just that it protects from the bottom, from the animals that want to go in it and want to eat it, for example. But then we have, the threads that go on the bottom, which it grows. So a mushroom is actually really interesting because there's only not one kind. We have a lot of kinds. The first one that you can see there, the one that is like reddish on the left side, is called a bracket fungi or a bracket mushroom. The brackets means that they are like stuck in the wood. Look at it. And they come out from the wood. They don't have a stem. They only have like an umbrella, the cap part, and they're normally in wood. Then you have the morel fungus or morel mushroom, and it looks like if it was a dead mushroom, right? It's not really nice, and they normally appear in the soil. Now, there's some dangerous mushrooms. You have 3 there in the picture. The first one is called dangerous angel. That is the name. Angel, I imagine, is for the color because it looks like an angel, but it actually is poisonous. If you eat it, you can actually be in a hospital for several days or weeks, even months, but it's not recommended for you to eat. And also the red one that you see there, that one is called psyllium. And what it is so dangerous is the red skin on top and those like spores that you have, that you can see in the picture. Those spots on top are very dangerous. And then we have that like brownish one that normally that brownish one grows in the manure, so don't eat those. Only eat the ones that look like a little bit white with a little bit brown. But don't eat the ones that you see on the picture, because you can actually end up in the hospital and they may end up even killing you. Now, what are we going to do, guys? I want you to go to your workbook and you're going to look for the activity 26, and it says part of fungus. I want you to cut and fold. Fold is doblar, right? So you're going to cut, you're going to fold, and you're going to paste in your notebook of science, and I want you to tell me the parts of the mushroom. You're going to write, for example, the first part of the mushroom, which is the cap or umbrella, as they call it. So you write cap or umbrella and tell me a characteristic of the cap. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to write cap, umbrella. It protects the mushroom when it's raining and it absorbs the water, for example. Okay? You can also use your book, which is on page 62 and on page 63 and 64, to help you get characteristics of the mushroom. When you're done with that, take a picture and send it to me. Don't forget. Have a great day, guys.